Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
See, I don't know about y'all, but like for real, I don't mind being talked about. My problem come in when they start making stuff up. So you can talk about me all you want. It is what it is. You know, it's either I did it or I didn't. I said it or I didn't. Whatever the case is, I don't care. I let whoever think whatever, feel whatever. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? But it's the making up part. It's the lying part. It's the adding on to part that always get me. I don't mind being talked about. It's when y'all start lying that bothers me.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning. So I had a little technical difficulty this morning, and I accidentally exited out and came back in, and it changed the people who were here first, and so I missed the entire top morning people. So I have to go over to the backside, so just bear with me. Crazy Cat Lady first to say good morning to Bullhorn Betty and chat. Nice to see you. Followed by Sheila, Z.A., Jennifer, good morning all. I would put your stuff up here, but unfortunately it's deleted on my end. So good morning, guys. Tammy, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Sean in here nice and early. Just an old lady. Sonia, good morning, love. Where else? We got Stevie. Sorry, I'm on the back side. Now I'm going to switch over to the other side. I think I caught up. Nana of 12. Proud Nana of 12. Yes, I'm back up to where I was. Okay, sweet as sugar. Is that true? Be honest. I'm just kidding. Donna, Melissa, MJ, Kayla. It's nice to see you guys here. Pink, it's nice to see you. Yvonne. Who else do we have? Kathy O, nice to see. Oh, shoot, I forgot to call you yesterday. Ellie Joe, lunch lady. I'll have to call you when we wrap up today. Nice to see you in here. Faith Lynn. Kitty Cats. Robert's girls in the house. Selena, nice to see you. Good morning, Christine. And everybody else always watching. I love that. Everybody else, good morning. I would spend a little more time on this, but we have a lot to cram in today in the little bit of time. I see M&M Racing. Who else? Rhonda, Kathy, as I'm moving through. We have Facebook user. I can't see who you are, but good morning. Nice to see you. I love the fact that people are watching from different platforms this morning. We're going to be going over a couple things. We're going to be going over, we had a historic bust here in Polk County. Many of you guys don't know that Grady Judd here in Polk County not only helps our state, you know, with this ST problem, this human trafficking issue. They actually help the country. There are many law enforcement bodies that actually reach out to Grady Judd for help in their area. They also, this is targeting people from across the country. People are literally coming here from across the country. So he does a lot of great work for not only the state of Florida, but the country collectively. So just a huge thing. We're going to get to his press conference here in a little bit. I just want to tell you all good morning, TGIF. It's Friday, and we're going to start getting a little bit back to some of our language of letting go. This is a good month. It's February. It's right after the beginning of the year. You know, many of us have our New Year's resolutions. For me, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do goals and goal setting. I use I use metrics to make sure I am, doing things and completing the stuff I need to do. So I always have metrics involved with my goals. So I make sure at least I'm obtaining them, at least working toward them. And so we're just going to go over the language of letting go this morning. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. At least we're into the weekend, right? For those that are getting up right now, watching me as they're running around their house, getting their kids up, getting dressed in the morning. Today is it. Tomorrow you get to sleep in for the most part. For the most part, some people may be like me and you work nonstop. So the only times you get times is when you finally just need to take time, right? So Language of Letting Go is a book I've had for those that are new to this channel. We used to, when I first started this channel out, we read this heavily in the mornings. And, as I got busier, I got away. And it's kind of crazy because when I get away, Selena, it's 3:44 a.m. Well, maybe lay in bed for a little bit, get some coffee. That might be my suggestion, Selena. Don't be popping up right now. But and it just really sets the tone. And I feel like when I get too far away from this book, when I feel like we're not focusing on it, I feel funky. And, it really kind of sets the tone for my day. And so that's why I love this book so much. Many of you guys know I've had it. We read it last year, and I guarantee even when I read it again this year, you're going to forget we read these passages last year. and you're probably going to get something else out of it. Unless you have a baby that had you up all night. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Amy. Yeah. Well, the one thing is I don't ever occasionally the cats, the neighbors next door, at least I think it's the neighbors next door. I should probably, did I just drop my card? I did, didn't I? No, there it is. Look what's on the back of my card. It just fell and I picked it up, and I must have wrote that when I was thinking of what we were going to call him. That's too funny. That is hilarious for me. That is hilarious. So anyways, so February 17th, you know, thank you, Kelso. Nice to see you. Thank you for the super sticker. I got to go on the other side and see it. I love seeing super stickers. Where is it? It's got to roll up. Aw, the rose. That's so cute. I love it. I love it. Beautiful. Shitter's full. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or if that, whatever that is. Anyways, so I really like February. I don't know why, but February is always such a fun month, especially in the language of letting go. And this is no different. And I think we could all use a lesson from it. Today is the 17th, and we're going to read the passage, the meditation for today, and it's called Lighten Up, right? We could all probably use a little lightening up. I know I can. Sometimes I'm here, you know, I work, and I wind my springs so tight that sometimes I'm just ready to pop, right? So I just thought this was great. This is great. So we've got 231 people. Good morning, just Samantha. Yeah, I got your emails where I'm going to be showing those. And actually may have you come up, or do you want to call in, or would you like to come up on panel? I almost want to bring you up on panel, but I'll let you decide. Not right just yet. We're going to do Polk. Polk's going to be about a half hour, and then we're going to move on to Brian Kohberger. So February 17th is Lighten Up. It says, Mom, I can't sleep over at Johnny's house again tonight. Please, or can I? Can I sleep over at Johnny's house tonight? Please, Shane begged. Why? I asked. For fun, he said. You just slept over last night, I said. Who said you can't have fun 2 days in a row? He asked. While ideas such as discipline, focus are undeniably important, so is the idea of having fun. With a small amount of effort, we can extract all the fun and joy out of most parts of our lives, our relationship, our work, even our leisure time. We can put so many restrictions and shoulds on everything that we do, our very lives become dull, over-ponderous, routine. Before long, we find ourselves living up to a set of rules, and we're not even certain where the rules came from or whose they are. I relented and let Shane have a sleepover he asked for. He had fun. He had lots of fun the entire year. So did I. Let yourself go. Have a little fun with life, or have a lot of fun with life. If you spent years being extremely disciplined, reliable, and somber, maybe part of achieving balance is having a decade of fun. Dig out your goals list, the one you put in the back of the book. Add another value to your list. Have as much fun and joy as possible in the days, months, and years to come. It's time to lighten up. God, show me how to put ideas like fun, joy back into my life. Show me how to have fun in work, love, and in play. So that's a message. As we go into the weekend, we are to lighten up and have fun. So I thought that was a great message, especially on a Friday morning when you go to work. Have some fun with it, right? You got to do spreadsheets. What's fun with spreadsheets, right? Well, find it. Find the fun in it, right? Hunt for that penny that you're off, right? Make it a scavenger hunt. So I just thought that was a precious message. I know that when I read it, it put a smile on my face. You know, sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and it's just nice that something kind of, you know, puts us back in the right mood. So hopefully if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, that jerked you right into the right mood. It is Friday, folks. You guys are sliding into the weekend, and I want you guys to have as much fun this weekend as humanly possible. But don't forget that 6:30 in the morning, first is the Bullhorn Betty channel. Okay. Don't forget that. Don't have too much fun without me. So anyways, getting over to, because we have so much to pack in, there is a half an hour press conference on the 213, I want to say, let me just check the numbers. 213 arrests were made of subjects who solicited prostitution and who offered to commit prostitution and other suspects. So it's kind of like a human trafficking type of thing. Again, love Grady Judd. I think he is by far the absolute best at what he does. You know, some people say, will Grady Judd ever run for governor or, you know, president or anything like that? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I've lived here my entire life, and my entire life, Grady Judd has been the sheriff of Polk County. He has done a phenomenal job. I don't know what Polk County is going to do when he chooses to retire. And the thought of it makes me sad, because he is just a outstanding law enforcement professional. You know, we always expect greatness from our law enforcement. We expect transparency from our law enforcement. We like when law enforcement makes mistakes and says they made mistakes. We don't like the mistakes, but, you know, at the end of the day, it shows that they're human, and it shows that, you know, they have, oh, we got some gifted memberships. Did we get some gifted memberships? I just want to, oh, we did. Steffers, nice to, oh, thanks for fixing the glitch. Yes, no problem, Steffers. 8 months you've been with us. My God, you've been looking at me for 8 months, been listening to me rambling. God bless you. Thank you for your love and support. And there is, who got memberships today? Selena, Tara, Joy, Mix-a-Lot, and Daisy, and Little Mama. Well, congratulations, guys, for your gifted memberships again. Steffers, thank you for that. Was it Steffers that did? Oh, sorry. Crafty Florida Lady, 5 memberships. Steffers is 8 months. She was saying thank you for fixing the glitz. So tell Crafty Florida Lady, thank you for your membership. Selena, Tara, Joy, Mix-a-Lot. Well, it seems like we got more than. Oh, Joy Swift was right. Sorry. You know what? We want, you know, what is it? Progress, not perfection. There we go. My defects are glaring this morning. So Mix-a-Lot, Daisy Chain, and Little Mama, please tell Crafty Florida Lady, thank you. And again, thank you for your love and support. Steffers, you too. So anyways, just wanted to get back. But, you know, Grady is just one of those people that I don't want to see leave Florida. I love the work he does. He has one of the lowest unsolved murder rates in the state of Florida. And that really goes to the professionalism of this one person. And what I love about him the most, as I was saying, is the transparency. Even when they make mistakes at their department, he comes to the podium and tells you the mistakes he made or his department made. And he takes full responsibility for his department. He takes full responsibility because he's the head. And that, to me, really shows his character, his level of integrity, and quite frankly, class. So I'm very privileged to live here in Florida, to have Grady Judd as one of my Florida neighbors. And, you know, obviously not in my county, one of my Florida County neighbors. There we go. And just really proud of everything that he's been able to do, because many of us, our biggest concern is human trafficking, ST, SA, and he works very hard to try. He's proactive. He tries to prevent it before it happens, not arrest the people after it happens. And that's the difference. And I think that shows. So without further ado, I'm just going to throw this up here. It's going to be about a half hour. I'll probably stop it and commentate. I love him. The country needs more like him. Absolutely, Craft Florida Lady. Absolutely. If we had one of Grady Judd in every single state, what a joy. What a much better place this world would be. I hope one day when he does retire, he does training. I really do. A brain like his should not go to waste. Skills like his should not go to waste. His inner office, standard operating procedures should not go to waste. I hope that whatever, he's got the it factor. And we find people throughout our lives that have that it factor, and we never want to let that go to waste. So it's just, it is what it is. So here we go. I've got him up. Let me go ahead and move this banner so you guys can see everything here. So I do want you guys to hear this, because this is important. This is really what we have our channel here for, is to stop some of this stuff, to help. And again, just a pleasure to know that Grady Judd is in my home state.
Today, once again, as you can see by the group of people we have here, the reason we're successful here is we work together and we like it. And as a result,
I love it. We work together and we like it. Can you imagine what kind of world we would live in if everybody worked together for a common goal? Something like this, saving our children from predators, saving unsuspecting adults from this type of lifestyle, stopping the human trafficking coming into this country.
our Operation Traffic Stop ended up with 213 arrests. But let me introduce some folks to you before we begin. We've got Sam Taylor, who is from the Lakeland Police Department, also with Captain Ty Thompson. The Auburndale Police Department, we have Chief Terry Story. Haines City Police Department, we have Deputy Chief Jay Hopwood. The Bartow Police Department, we have Chief Brian Dorman. Winter Haven Police Department, we have Captain Don Nunnery. Lake Wells Police Department, we have Lieutenant Mike Smith. Davenport Police Department, we have Chief Steve Parker. We also have our social service agencies, folks, and I want you to know that the mental health and behavioral health support that they receive immediately is so very important to this operation. We have Michaela Klein and Jody Domain. I always mess your name up, Jody. Domain. Marianne, Dr. Marianne Thomas, Canadian Parchment, Sarah Rockwell, Laura Swink, and they are from my...
I just seen Justice for All come into the chat. I just want to give, let me pause it right there. I just want to give a big shout out and congratulations to the Turtle Island winner of 2023. Everybody put your hands together. Who knew he would trump Ryan Upchurch, right? So congratulations. You know what? You need to make sure that when you get your belt, tell Dolly you want it diamond encrusted, okay? Tell him don't go cheap on you, all right? We know he's cheap. Tell him it's got to have the real deal in there. So congratulations, my friend. That was great. I didn't watch it, but I did get updates on it. So congratulations, Justice for All. I almost want to bring you up here so you can give me your winner's speech, because Dolly's gonna want you to give a speech, right? You're gonna have to give a dissertation on how you feel and how it feels to have won the Turtle Island. You're the Turtle Island, you're the first Turtle Island winner of YouTube. So congratulations, Justice for All. You are great. You know what? You really are. You have a way of speaking to people. You have a way of just explaining things. You're very soft-spoken. You're just a gem. And I can't imagine anybody else that could have won that. I honestly am surprised I lasted so long. I have to be honest with you. God bless everybody that kept me in the running for as long as they did. But again, Justice for All, congratulations, my friend. So we'll get back here, but I just saw you pop in and I wanted to give you a big old shout out. Speech. So I'm going to bring you up here if you want. Okay. I'm not going to put you out too much, but would like to get a few words on how it feels. And I don't want to call you the Turtle King, but we'll call you the Turtle Island King or Queen, whichever you want. You know, whatever. I love you. I love you. You know I love you. So without further ado, let's get back to the video.
My Name, My Voice, One More Child, Heartland for Children, Child Protection Team, Sail of Freedom, and also DCF from the state of Florida participated. They're not here with us today, but they were there every day of the operation. So what occurred? This all started on February the 6th through the 12th, the run up to Super Bowl.
February 6th through the 12th, guys. That's it. He only does, oh, yes, Turtle Prince. I love that. The new prince is in town. Can you sing? I'd like to know if you can sing. Can you carry a tune in a bucket? Stacey Ann's like, do a speech on Dolly's first, then here. I'll just steal. He doesn't need to do 2 speeches. I'll just clip his speech from Dolly's. What are friends for, right? No, but 6th through the 12th, guys, think about that. That was only 6 days, 6 or 7 days. That's it to round up. This is the kind of work that Grady does. So let me just keep going.
Doing a human trafficking operation, as we do several times a year, where we're looking for the victims of human trafficking, those that are forced to participate, those that are made to participate, those that are treated inhumanely. We had 213 arrests, as I said previously. In addition to the human trafficking arrest, the prostitution arrest, we had drugs, we had guns, we had prostitution, we had Johns. Across the spectrum of criminal charges, we had those. 111 were prostitutes, 89 were Johns. There were 24 victims that I want to show you here that we suspect are victims of human trafficking. That's why they're blanked out. Now, we suspect this, and all of these are being counseled with at this time. What I'm excited to announce to you today, this is the most we've identified at the initial stage of the investigation or operation. As you know, the human trafficking victim is a very difficult victim to work with because they're scared. They're certainly more scared of their pimp, of their trafficker, than they are of law enforcement. But this time, these ladies and their team of counselors did and continue to do remarkable work. They'll talk more about that later. But if you look, we've got a color code here. Because of our human trafficking victims, 14 of these females are illegally in this country. Did you hear that? Did you hear clearly what I said? 14 of them are here illegally in the country. To me, the bombshell is 13 of them are Cuban, 1 is Mexican. All of them came to us through the southern border. So I want you to focus for just a second as I speak, that we hear the political 30-second bites about, oh, the border's porous. No, it's not. The border is secure. No, it's not. There's really not a crisis at the border. Yes, there's a crisis at the border. Wake up. Somebody in Washington with more than 5 brain cells needs to listen to this. Well, maybe asking them to have 5 brain cells too many. Let's shoot for 3 brain cells. But the reality is, this is what we found. These ladies all arrived within the last 2 years. The majority of them arrived within the last 6 months. Some of them arrived in the last 2 weeks. And just how did they get here? And what was told to us? That they were paying off their transportation debt, that they were being smuggled into the United States to have sex, that their family at home was being threatened if they didn't come here and do what they were supposed to and pay off the debts. Did you hear that?
That is the reality, you know, and for everybody that's on the thing about this ST and HT mantra, we can do something about it. But this is a sheriff that is telling us where the problem is coming. These women deserve better. They deserve better than to be forced over into the United States to do this. They deserve better than their family being threatened with their lives to come over to the United States to do this. This is where the problem really does exist in a lot of this. And we really do need to open our ears. If we really want to have effective change, we really do need to listen to this. As hard as it may be for some of us to listen to, we need to pay attention.
So it's not enough that we've got illegal entries. Forget the illegal entries for a moment that are coming here to work, to do good, to do better for their family. What everyone's ignoring is the traffickers in fentanyl that are killing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of our people every day. The traffickers of methamphetamine that are all coming across that border with the traffickers of fentanyl. That these human traffickers are forcing ladies across this border to commit sex so they can indenture them. And yet we don't do what we need to do. I suggest to you that what we are doing with the immigration issue today is simply this. It's like you go home this evening and, oh my gosh, a pipe is broken and I've got water all over the floor. Well, the federal government's got water all over the floor and they're in there trying to mop it up. At least they say they are. But at the same time, the pipe's still pumping more water onto the floor. The first thing you do when you go home this evening and you find a pipe is broken and you've got water on the floor is you go find the source and turn the valve off.
Boom.
And then you mop up and you fix the problem. But we don't. So these ladies are being forced across the border. They're being threatened to kill their families back at home. At the end of the day, some of them say, well, it's also a quick avenue for cash. I'm here illegally. I can't speak English. What these ladies have discovered, and they're going to give you the details, is most of the time when we arrest what I call a professional prostitute, she's angry, she's mad, she lashes out. What we saw with these human trafficking victims is they're scared, they're dejected, they're depressed. The Cubans said they came here through Nicaragua. They had to make their way through Honduras, Guatemala, all the way through Mexico to the United States border. So how do you traverse all of that area? Coyotes, smugglers, they identify them and say, here, you're coming, we'll get you there, and you're paying. And these ladies were paying a ridiculous, horrible price. So at the end of the day, we arrested also 4 previous prostitutes that we'd arrested before in previous operations, and 1 John. 1 arrest was not enough for him here or for the 4 ladies, and we arrested them again. So some of these pictures are up here for a second time. 2 of our Johns showed up with concealed firearms.
That's scary.
22 of these folks were on public assistance. You know what I think about that. We all work. We pay our taxes. We expect public assistance to go to those who are very old, very young, that are significantly in need and can't care for themselves. But they're healthy enough while you're paying taxes and they're getting your tax money that they can come here and prostitute or seek out prostitutes. That's right. 22 of them are on public assistance. 54 were arrested with some form of drug charges. We filed over 100 drug charges. but I would be
God bless you,
incomplete if I
Jennifer.
didn't introduce you to what I call a few of our people. This color of these work histories and jobs and professional positions are always interesting. And where would we be with a human trafficking operation without an elected official?
Oh boy.
That's right. This guy comes from the San Diego area of California. He was supposedly here helping his mom and dad. And hey, he had a little few minutes. So he decided he would come here and engage in sex. He solicited sex for $200. He's on the governing board of the Del Mar Union Public School District.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
don't you want this guy making decisions for your children?
Scary stuff.
Oh, he's educated. He's got a PhD from the University of Southern California. He's married. He's married. I don't know what his wife thinks about this, or if she doesn't know about it, it'd be a good time to watch social media, or her local news station will provide it to him in Southern California.
I love it. Social
He's
media.
also a molecular biologist. You know, most of us can't even say molecular biologist, and he is one. He's retired currently. At one time, he owned a massage studio. He doesn't own that any longer. Today, he's got a new title, Jailbird, in Polk County. This guy knows better. He's supposed to be a leader in the community. He's an elected official. He's making decisions for our children, and he's out soliciting prostitutes. Then there's Christopher Patassi from Lakeland. He's a registered sex offender, but he's not originally from Lakeland. No, he's from Massachusetts, and they were kind enough to send him to us. He has arrests from 1993, 1995, 1997, 2000,
Jesus.
and 2006 in California, in Massachusetts, for what? Sex offender charges. And he has a sex offender status. He is arrested currently for prostitution. He's unemployed, but we are doing background investigations with hopes that we can charge him with other appropriate charges because he has a sex offender status. That investigation is ongoing. Then there's Jessica Nichols from Spring Hill. She came to offer sex, $350 for an hour, and she denied she was there for that. She said, "Oh, I sell drugs now. I don't prostitute anymore." She showed up with a trafficking amount of fentanyl. She also had meth and cocaine that she was in possession of and ready to sell. She's unbelievable. She's, by the way, also doesn't pay her traffic citations because she's had an outstanding warrant from Pasco County for a traffic infraction. Sheriff Naco, we got one of you ladies here. We're going to send her back to you, but she's not supposed to be.
And I got to tell you, Sheriff Naco, he is a very handsome sheriff. He's a good sheriff too, but as a female, he's a handsome sheriff.
Driving. Then there's Jessica Burgess. She's from Clearwater. She's a convenience store clerk. Okay, what's so exciting about that? She was released from the Florida State Prison from she was in there on drug charges. Released from the Florida State Prison on February the 7th. So how did she celebrate being released from state prison? Getting arrested on February the 11th. 4 days later, she's got arrested for prostitution, and she's in possession of what? Illegal drugs, like got her locked up. Do you think she learned her lesson?
Nope.
I think not. We'll give her another opportunity to go to prison based on her meth arrest. But here's a clear indication, folks. We think these folks are low-level, nonviolent offenders, and just given the right environment, they will correct their ways. Took her 4 days to get arrested. Then there's Jermichael Bradley. He's from Tampa. He brought his girlfriend. She's the human trafficking victim. He was in possession of a firearm. Did I mention he was a convicted felon? Did I mention the firearm that he was in possession of as a convicted felon was stolen? You'd think that's a newsflash, but it's not. We arrest people every day. The Florida legislature, and yes, the federal government, needs to pass legislation that says, hey, on minimum mandatories for firearms, you have to serve 100% of your sentence. And if the prosecutor does not bring this charge to court, he needs to say in writing why he's letting a felon with a firearm not be prosecuted.
That is what I'm talking about. Law enforcement, these are legislative measures that can really help, really help. Now, remember, criminals are criminals. You know, they don't care about the law. That's what makes them criminals. So even after all these laws are passed, we're still going to have people that are breaking them. We know that. But that's okay, because when they're caught, they have to go serve 100% of their sentence. And it is very scary to me to know that people that are violent are carrying guns. People that are deemed violent by our courts are carrying guns. That's scary for me. And one of the reasons why I am a concealed weapons permit holder, because there's people like that out there.
Well, by the way, they also brought an 8-month-old baby with him.
Oh,
they got him a contributing charge. So he's pimping his girlfriend. He's bringing his 8-month-old baby. He's got a concealed firearm. And he's on public assistance. If wonders will never cease. He said he is a chef at Three Brothers. I don't think Three Brothers wants him cooking anymore. Just saying. And then there's Zune Show. Zune Show is from Riverview. He is a software engineer for FICO. That's right, the credit report people. He's been there 28 years. He's married. Did you hear what I said? He's married. His wife was out of the country and he said he was lonely. He also admitted that he goes to USF football games to look at the girls. He might as well. There's not much football being played over there right now. So we arrested him. So while most people go to watch a football game, he goes to watch the girls. And he said it. He actually admitted it. And then there's Bailey Purcell from Temple Terrace. He's a wide receiver for the USF football team. While Zune is not watching him play football, he's watching the girls. And this guy is no longer a wide receiver because he's been caught. You almost want to feel sorry for him. He's a kid. He said, "Can you call my pastor? But whatever you do, don't call my parents." Tells me he's got some really good parents at home. I believe they will correct his mistake between the parents and the pastor and the court system. But he was soliciting a prostitute. And then there's Zachary Wright. He's a software engineer. He's currently unemployed. He said he's glad he's not working. It would not look good to his boss that he was arrested. And he said, oh, by the way, I've got
software engineer, unemployed. I want that to sink in. Refolk their Viagra. Wake up, you're too funny. But, you know, software engineer. Think about how much school debt this man owes to be a software engineer, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he's unemployed, literally unemployed. I'm just, it's dumbfounding to me. Like, if you're a software engineer, you don't need to be employed by somebody. Just go into your computer room and start working on something that inspires you. Make yourself something. Don't just sit at home on your laurels. You know, that's the difference. What is the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person? There's only one key. That a successful person was willing to do what an unsuccessful person was unwilling to do. That's it. That's it. This man could have been a success. He could have been software engineer. This is a man that could have helped build our child program, right? Our centralized database, right? This guy has enough knowledge to help build our centralized database for our children. And here he is ruining his life instead of saving one. Just a shame. What a waste.
Family, my family's real good friends with the police chief in Plant City. My dad's a lawyer and is good friends with the police chief in Plant City. And they said, well, what's his name? He goes, I don't know, but they're really good friends, if that makes any difference. Well, I don't think the police chief's going to bond you out. That's the most difference it could make. Neon Vega from Tampa. He works for United States Postal Service, the post office.
Creepy.
When we called to advise them and to check to make sure what he was telling us was truthful, they said, just say he works for the federal government. Okay, he works for the federal government. He's married. He said he messed up, and we were messing him up because we kept him up all night. By the time the booking and going to jail was over, he was supposed to take his kids to the zoo the next day. He was charged with deriving proceeds. You ain't gonna believe this. Because he brought a female to the op. Did you hear what I said? It was not his wife. So the dude's married. He works for the post office. Maybe he was just delivering mail. I don't know. In this case, he was delivering female. Right? But at the end of the day,
you gotta love his
he brought a girl to prostitute at the op who's not his wife. This guy's just a nut.
Just a nut. Crack that nut there, Grady.
Craig Van Elsen from Brandon. He's been with UPS for 28 years. He's married, and he left his wife so that he could come over here and get himself in trouble. This operation could not have been possible without our colleagues from the police departments. I'm just telling you right now, it was a massive operation. And I've asked our chiefs if they wanted to speak, and Chief Sam Taylor said that he would speak on behalf of the police chiefs. Chief, come on up.
Thank you, Sheriff. The sheriff calls occasionally and wants to do these operations, and I can tell you that Lakeland Police Department will always say yes. We are proud and honored of the leadership that the sheriff shows in this regard, and he's always leading from the front. He never asks us to provide, manpower and resources that he doesn't double that typically. So on behalf of the men and women of the Lakeland Police Department, we are grateful and honored to be asked to participate in this. And all the police chiefs up here, I think I speak on their behalf, is that this is a joint operation. This is a countywide operation, and it moves all over the county. Sometimes it's in the east side of the county, sometimes it's in Lakeland, and it gets moved all over. But these things have happened in the past. These operations have happened in the past. I anticipate they will happen in the future. Apparently the word is not getting out, but the word needs to get out. This is not something that you want to bring to Polk County. And we're going to continue to hammer that home until the message does get out. But again, I want to thank the sheriff for his leadership and all the resources that he provides and his attention to this human trafficking issue. And that's really what it boils down to. It's not about putting these low level, as the sheriff calls them, misdemeanor crimes. These folks are dangerous. Some of these folks bring guns, and the human trafficking aspect is what's important. And that's why some of these ladies are up here, and they're going to talk to you about that in a second. And that's the gist of trying to identify and help these ladies. And that's the most important thing. So again, thank you for allowing us, Sheriff, to participate, and we will look forward to working with you in the future. So,
but I can tell you right now that honestly, this is something that they do. Not only that, but they still, even with these stings, they're telling people, they've been doing this for years, and they're telling people, look, we're doing this. You can't get any more transparent than this right here. And people are, it's so dumbfounding that people are still coming. They're still coming. They really believe it will never happen to them. Isn't that insane? But what a great service Grady Judd is doing, again, not just, you heard, these people are coming from all over the country. They're coming here for this specific purpose. Many of them have wives. Now, if they're like that one guy, if he has a wife at home and bringing his pimping a girl out that's not even his wife, can you imagine what his wife is dealing with at home? I hope these women that are with these men divorce them. I really do, because God knows what kind of, I mean, let's be honest, diseases, life-threatening diseases that these people can bring home to their wives, unsuspecting wives that have no knowledge of this behavior. It's sad. It really is sad. So, guys, just wanted to show you that there are 213. They identified, what did they say, like 24 or 28 ST victims in this bust. He described the difference between a professional worker and one that's being forced into the business. The professional ones are angry that they're being arrested, whereas the ones that are being forced into this are scared. They're miserable. They're depressed. They want out. They're scared that their families are going to be in grave jeopardy because of if they don't do this. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to their families. And I don't think Grady Judd minced his words one bit related to what the true problem is, because the majority of those that were ST'd in this case aren't even here. They're not even supposed to be here. They were forced here. Majority of them came from Cuba. They were forced to come here. Let me repeat that. They were forced to come here. They didn't come here willingly. They were taken from Cuba and sent over here. I just want to put that in. He's not talking about the ones that just want a better life. These people didn't want to come here. They were forced here. So it's just really, really upsetting to me to see this, to hear this, but I'm glad we have transparency. This is not the first one either. Remember, the sheriff over there where the Cali 6 happened, you heard him say the same darn thing. Absolutely, Tammy. That is exactly it. The same exact thing. And it's sad, because in order for us, we're all here to try to stop this and to bring awareness to this huge problem we're having in our country. Right now, I'm advocating just to get the true numbers, because our numbers are all over the board and they're not accurate. They're not true to what is really going on. The numbers are so low. Remember, you guys told me that the epicenter was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Well, I went there and looked at their numbers. Remember that? It was last year. I went to Myrtle Beach and I was finding out what the information was with that, because we heard that's an epicenter. And I get there and there was only 19 cases. While 19 cases is large, it's not 213. It's not 24. In just a 1 week time, he was able to identify 20 plus victims of this right here in Florida. And so the numbers are wrong. The numbers that we're hearing online and through Google are wrong. They're much worse than what we are told. So I'm working here in the state of Florida to get accurate numbers. It starts again at the ground level, and you got to just go up the food chain. But this is where it starts. It's one voice, and right now we have 483 voices right now here in this channel that are disgusted with what we just heard. Absolutely disgusted. This is sad. No woman should have to go through it. Many of the people come here because they have experienced SA. I am an SA victim. And hearing this, it breaks my heart. And I want so much to reach out and help these people. I'm glad that they got Salem, or what is it? I can't remember the name of it, but we had the person. I always miss it. It's like SHALOH or something like that. I can't remember the name of the organization, but they're very, very good at what they do. I actually had, they came to our county and explained what they did and how they help. And we had we had 2 victims that came and spoke about how they were groomed at a young age and, just, moved on up until somebody saved them. And, that really is what they do. And I'm glad that they have the counselors, they have people, that have experienced it. It's almost like for those that have had recovery, either alcohol dependency or drug dependency, it's like having a sponsor, that helps you work through your stuff because they live that life too. So I'm just very, very thankful that we have programs like this going on here in the state of Florida. I wish that they would be doing this all over the country at the same strategy as Grady Judd, broadcasting it, making it transparent, making people know, putting their faces up for everybody to see, calling their employers, making sure their employers know what they did. That to me is setting a very strong message. Is it stopping it? This guy can do this almost every single day and nab people every single day. That's the disgusting part about it. It really is. That is the disgusting part about it. So thank you guys for allowing me a little bit of leeway this morning. I know this doesn't really affect you guys too much. Well, it does. I mean, it really does, because these people are coming from all over the country. Next time it could be your very neighbor, right? So this is a good community service for the entire United States that we just watched happen here in the state of Florida. Very proud of Sheriff Grady Judd. Kudos to him. Kudos to all the people that coordinate together and work together in solidarity to bring an end and expose this horrific reality. So just a big shout out to that. Going on to some other stuff, and then we'll get over to Alex Murdaugh and have some discussions on that. But Samantha, you guys know, Samantha, did you want to come up here on panel, or did you want to call in? You've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Just want to hear your input, your thoughts, what you're feeling, and see if you have anything you'd like to add to this morning. Thank you. Bring this to the forefront. Oh yeah, it's very highly important. And, we're always talking about it. That's the problem. We're always talking about this kind of stuff and what we can do to help and how much of a problem it is. And God bless the sheriffs across this country that are really being proactive and taking the reins and really driving this home. God bless all of them. This has got to be hard. You got to think that these, we don't have to deal with what law enforcement has to deal with. Like, we hear about this stuff, right? They have to investigate it. They have to see it with their own eyes. They have to, like, even Alex Murdaugh and in the case where Maggie and Paul were there. I mean, they have to look at that stuff. They have to stare at that stuff. They have to take pictures. I mean, that's, can you imagine? I mean, we are so, we have to stick trigger warnings up to even remotely describe some of the stuff that they actually have to see. And I think, and for them to still want to do their job, I mean, it's just, God bless them. God bless them. Now, you guys know why I'm definitely pro law enforcement. They do the things that we would never have the stomach to do. And they have to see some of the horrific stuff. I tell you, I have a friend here. I'm not going to go, say her name, but she's in the Manatee County Sheriff's Department. And she was almost killed in the line of duty. A woman that was under the influence of alcohol in a stolen vehicle decided to take that vehicle and run right into her. And I got to see that video because she was in, she had to go through multiple surgeries and, deal with workers' comp. And she was just, it was really horrible for her. But I had to see that video, and it just makes me so thankful that she's alive and she's got children. It's just, it's really, really sad. But what a great person. And her and I, have had conversations because she was in this kind of department, where they had to deal with the children, dealing with SA and stuff like that. And she could only do it for, I think she said 4 years, and she just couldn't do it anymore. The stuff she had to see, the stuff she had to hear, it was very hard for her. As a female, she was very passionate about what she did, but there is a, you can, for sheriffs, they can only, in any kind of detective, they can only do certain things for so long because it does get to them. Mentally, it gets to them. So, but what a great asset she's been. She's been with the Manatee County Sheriffs for, decades. And she went there. Her and I have, some of the similar stories. She was a troubled child before she turned 18, and look at the wonderful contribution she is making to our community. And just a big shout out, if she ever watches, she knows exactly who I'm talking about. So just a big shout out to her, and God bless her for all of her service. So moving on, I didn't see Samantha right back yet. I'm just trying to figure out, can I call in? Yeah, that'll be way easier. Okay, let me, the problem is I can't show, I'll get you on the phone first. I can't show. Well, let me ask you this, Samantha. Do you want me to show and go over the clips first of the information, the screenshots, or do you want to call in first? Because I can't do both. I wish I could. I could do both if you came on panel, but I can't do both with the call in and showing the items up here. So if it's going to be easy for you to call in, would you like to do it before or after I go through the stuff? Let's see. So I'll wait for her to respond, and then we'll fit. I'll call in first. Okay, perfect. Let me back this out, and then give me just 2 shakes, and I'll drop the line for you. Oh, it's already up. So let me just go over here. Okay. I really don't like. I can complain all day long until the cows come home, huh? It doesn't really matter. I just don't like the way the system is anymore. It just drives me nuts. All right. Okay. Let me turn you on. Do you have the number, or do you want me to put the number up? Sometimes it's easier just to call in, because if I put the number up, somebody else might call in. But the phone line is on if you want to come up here. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw the phone number up. Please don't call in. This is just for Samantha. There you go, Samantha. And once she gets on the phone, we'll chat with her. Okay, number, please. Okay, it's up on the screen. All right, guys. So we'll wait for Samantha to call in, and then we'll chat, and I'll show you guys the screenshot she's gotten or received. Again, she's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. God bless her, because I'm telling you, this is stuff I just don't have the time to do hardly anymore with all my new commitments. So I've got to try to figure out, so it's a little. This is Betty.
Good morning. It's Samantha.
Good morning, love bug. How you doing?
I'm doing well. That was interesting. I'm not familiar with that sheriff. Like I've seen clips here and there, but boy, was it refreshing to hear someone be so honest and to call them out.
Yeah. And that's what I love about him, is because, I mean, he doesn't just arrest them. Like he will do a press conference, and he will show their faces. And not only that, but he also, they have a habit of calling they call 200, think about it, 213 people, and they called every single one of their employers.
That's how it should be. I put in chat a while back how I was waiting for a call for my victim's advocate, and I recently got it because I was victimized myself, and he ended up going to jail. He took a plea, and he's out of jail. He's off of parole. He attended the classes, and he came back to the area, and they live in a different town now, thank God. And I wanted to put on Facebook, on that town's like community page, his photo from, we have Megan's Law in Pennsylvania, and the information, and just be like, beware, this man is now a member of your community.
Mhm.
And my victim's advocate told me, do not do that, that it can be considered me harassing him.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
you know
damn
what? The good
shame.
thing is you can send it to me and I can post it away. I mean, we post you know, news. So if there's, you know, maybe that's something that we should be doing here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, is when these things happen, is, you know, putting their faces up. I mean, you heard him. I mean, he was telling him, you heard Grady Judd just talk about their employment, where they were employed. And so I have to think that, you know, we maybe not going there to do it, but there's other ways around it. So people are well aware of, you know, who they are.
Yeah, it's I don't think people realize that much, unless like you know somebody or you went through it yourself, that these sex offenders, they have almost more privilege and law protecting them than the victim ourselves. It's
Yeah.
like we get dragged through the mud, question whether or not we're lying, and it's not right. The system is wrong. And then also when you see just a petty little middle-level drug addict, they'll get a lot more time than someone who does this to children and destroys their whole life.
Yeah,
That's not
well,
something
think
that
about it.
just
I mean,
goes away.
look at the Lawsons, right? I mean, Ronnie, because he was the sheriff, his son. Meanwhile, that Jeffrey, I can't remember the name, guy there gets
Donald
years for
Turfey.
having photos. Meanwhile, the sheriff's son is fiddling with kids at church and gets 1 year and a slap on the wrist, and he's already out of jail.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll take a plea agreement, and that's how they get lesser time. And
He went
unless the
through-
victim is strong enough to go through it, you know, and then a trial is so scary. That's, in my case, that was my biggest fear. I thought he would put me on the stand to shame me, you know, make me go up there and say it in front of everybody. And I was thankful that he did. In the end, he chickened out and he took the plea deal, and I did not expect that. But in the end, it worked out because he got less time. They sentenced him just to 4 years, and when the first year was up, he was allowed for parole. And I had to go to the Harrisburg with my therapist. She came with me, and I had to go and speak to the parole board. And that was like where I found my voice. You know, once I was able to go and sit and speak in front of this small group, he ended up staying. They made him stay there, and he did 2 out of the 4 years, which is still nothing compared to the suffering that I've done, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
there's
like
a lot
that,
of
Chair.
sickos out in the world, and you know, the worst of the worst need to be behind jail. And anybody that messes with kids, messes with women like that, you know, I think that they should have the toughest sentences along with the murderers, because that's a behavioral issue that's never going to go away.
Exactly. I like death penalty. They always reoffend. The statistics, they prove it.
Mhm.
There's no rehabilitation. I think where it's like whether you're gay, whether you're straight, it's something wrong in their brain. It's a sexual attraction to children that I'm not saying it's not their fault, but that I feel like it's something wrong with their brain.
Yeah.
And that's why they can't control it.
Yeah.
I believe in no rehabilitation whatsoever.
I agree. So you did a lot of research on Brian Kohberger. What did you uncover?
Well, now every time Banfield says something, I feel like I have to do my due diligence and go searching. So I was just stumbling upon these groups, and on the Facebook group, this came up, which is screenshots from Reddit, which they do a lot of times, a Q&A, a question and answer forum. So it is originally from Reddit, and then it says that the mods of this Reddit group did verify. Now, I'm not a mod, so I can't say for 100%, but they are stating that before they posted anything to the page, the mods verified and got proof that this person was a coworker with Brian when he worked as a security guard. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily at the school or if it's just something in or around the town. And I figured, let's see if Banfield's going to pull this one out.
Right.
But I, unlike everyone else, I will tell you exactly where I find it, whether or not it's confirmed, how I find it.
Mhm.
So I just keep searching.
Yeah.
It is interesting. I do feel like a lot of the things, because I reread it when you said you were going to pull it up,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the things that he said does seem accurate, as if, you know, it could be true.
Yeah,
How did you
this is
feel about
probably not not one of the Reddits that Ashley Banfield would jump onto if it's possibly true. I should stop. I need to stop.
Ugh.
I have a bias.
The
I have a bias, a glaring bias.
The TikTok lady who shared that termination letter is like having a field day on Twitter. It's like she's having her 5 minutes of fame or whatever they say. She's calling out Banfield. She's calling out Jennifer Coffendorfer.
Oh, she is. So she knew it was fake.
Well, she's saying that they stole it from her. Basically, She said it first.
Well, yeah. I mean, news. That's the way news goes. I mean, look at all these news, like even Banfield. She talks about this, and then what do you have? You have a report out of the Daily Mail, and then the New York Post, and they all take each other's stories. That's how it works. I mean, how do you?
She's getting hit harder.
Somebody brought it up to the news.
The comments when she shares things on News Nation, she's getting dragged a lot more now. I noticed. Thank goodness. I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think that they should have her stop covering this case.
Yeah. I think Brian Enton's more suited for this case anyways. It's in his wheelhouse. I mean, he's been going around covering true crime all this time. Why is Ashley jumping on board? She was usually political or some other stuff that she was doing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because I tune her out. I've tuned her out even when she was on HLN or whatever the hell that station is.
Yeah, she went completely down the totem pole. You would think that she would be a lot more cautious as to what she's reporting, because I was reading up about the scandal with Chris Watts, and that's why she got let go from CNN, because she brought up his supposed in-house gay lover, and there was like nothing verifiable about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there was like a lot of outrage over it, and that's why CNN in the end let her go.
Yeah, well, I mean, but really, what difference does it make? I mean, it's 2023. Who cares about whether they have, cohorts in jail? I mean,
right. But the thing was, it was unverifiable source, and she brought him right up immediately without doing her fact finding.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like she's going back to her old tricks, but not only that, but her friend, that's what the problem is that her and her friend, it's too obvious because only two people are really coming up with these groundbreaking news things, news clips, and it's her and her friend Steve Helling. And they are friends. They travel together in some instances. So it's just awfully convenient that both of them are writing these types of articles.
Right. I definitely agree. Hopefully, like I said, this guy, I felt like maybe it is true, or it is verifiable that the mods did their job of this Reddit thread, because everything he says is kind of interesting. And I don't know, it kind of lines up with what I would think about Brian. He did mention about him. He questioned him being the heroin addict because his other friend at that pizza joint stated that. But I was reading his Tappa Talk. So it depends on when he was actually using the heroin, because during that time of 2008 and 2011, I was going through it, and he really was dealing with that visual snow, which I had no idea what that was, but like it was very apparent that it was troubling for him. At one point, he was saying like how he feels nothing and he's just unemotional and detached, but he also talks about that's when I guess he was starting to become a vegan, and he was looking into like ways to be healthy to help the visual snow. And he says about taking a Valium or a Xanax and how he was going more against antidepressants and pharmaceuticals. Yeah. So I would think it would have to be after that period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was right there. If I remember correctly from the a friend that I interviewed, it sounded like it was like, if I remember correctly, I should probably go back and review the interview, but it seemed like it was between the 11th and 12th grade that he had this huge weight drop, got into the drugs and everything like that. It could have been, sophomore to junior, but I think it was junior to senior area that this was all happening, but I can't be 100%.
I seen somebody say that they find it odd that like a high schooler would have that, like a heroin problem. But in this area, like I said, I'm right on the outskirts. I'm more of the country of Scranton. The Poconos is like 2 hours from here. It's a touristy town. Other than that, there's not much going on. And drugs are so prevalent in our area. When I was in high school, I didn't find out until afterward, but it was like the football star, the most good looking boy and the prom queen girlfriend, they were junkies.
Yeah.
Now they weren't raging heroin addicts because they're young and they're just like using and partying, and they're using needles, like they're straight up IV heroin addicts.
Okay.
And
Careful with what language.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I mean, it didn't surprise me with hearing that, especially knowing I'm from the area. But
not only that, I find it odd that he kind of missed everything else. Like even I never did that particular substance, but it was progressive for me. When I was younger or teenager, we liked to drink, smoke a little marijuana, and then it kind of escalated from there. But to go right from being bullied into that kind of, it just seems like I truly believe a lot of this stuff is childhood trauma. So that tells me something was going on inside his home at the time. Kids that come from healthy homes. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, not to paint a broad brush, but typically, kids that come from good homes, solid foundation, normal homes, they don't jump right into this.
Right. No, I definitely agree. There's always a trigger. You want to numb the pain.
Yeah. So I think it might have been, they were having a lot of financial problems. They were going through bankruptcy. He was having to move. He was being picked on. There was a lot of stuff going on. And I don't know who would have introduced it to him, but obviously he was hanging around somebody that he shouldn't have been, because for all these, even for me, it was introduced to me. It wasn't something that I just said, hey, I want to do this. It was like, hey, why don't you try this? This will make you feel better. So it was one of those things. And thank God, but for the grace of God, there go I. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to pull this up so the people know what we're talking about. And then after I go through reading all of this, then I'm going to open the phone line. So call back and you can kind of explain other things that you forgot to explain here.
Yeah, I have a notebook I started.
Oh, did you?
So I can remember stuff. But as far as the what was I going to say real quick? So I was thinking with Brian seems to be very informative with that, looking into the visual snow, almost diagnosing himself. Mm-hmm. And they kind of mentioned some of this in this kid does in these posts I sent you. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking it's like if he was going to take criminology because he was trying to study himself. He's trying to learn his own brain and why he thinks and feels the way he does.
I agree with that, because that was kind of what I was gathering as well.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He's so self-absorbed with people and why we act the way we do, and especially why he does and what affects him, what makes him tick. Why do people feel this way? The whole psychological thing of being like the brain in a human. Okay, well, go ahead. You share them away, and I'll be in the chat.
All right, love.
So again, they're from Reddit. They're from a Reddit thread that I originally seen on Facebook. And the Reddit mods said that they did their due diligence to verify it before they would allow it to be posted. Right. Take it as you will, make what you want of it.
Perfect. Thank you, Samantha.
Okay. See you in chat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So let me turn these phones off real quick. All right. I'm going to drop this and I'm going to pull the screen back up. Let me put this over here. And so we're just going to go. I got to skip over one because I got them in out of order, I think. So give me just a second. Let me get the full screen back up. There we go. Okay. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys, if I can. I don't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Does that seem like it? Oh, maybe I need to. So here we go. Hopefully that works. So this came from the Innocence Investigation. Seriously, I can't believe people actually, and now granted he is allowed to be, he is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We are not a court of law for those people out there that think this is the Bullhorn Betty court of law. This is not. I look at facts and give my opinion, my theory and my speculation based upon facts. And I have no problem saying I think somebody is guilty of a heinous crime. And this is no different. I think Brian Kohberger is definitely guilty of this so far from everything that I've seen and reviewed. It does look like they got the right guy, but I want to hear from them. So this is sharing for those who may not have seen this. A security officer who worked with Brian answers questions on Reddit. And we're going to go, we got copies of all these little clips. So I'm not going to go through all of them with you right at the moment. This is the one I got to skip. So here it is. This is what they said that they've confirmed. Hold on, let me get this a little bit bigger. There we go for you guys to see. And so this is from Mindless Island. It says a former security coworker of Brian BK shared some new information in the Facebook group January 14th. So this is new information to you guys. A former security coworker of BK shared some info anonymously, but verified by mods. Again, we don't know what that means and what due diligence they did. This is kind of, we have to take them as an honor system. Just Samantha, very as skeptical as she is, says this does sound about right. So we're going to go with it. I'm going to keep very cautiously and say this is a Reddit post. So everything that we're reading right now, we can't take as factual. But with that being said, take it for what you will, like just Samantha had just informed us. A former security coworker of BK shared some information on Facebook group University of Idaho murder and answered some questions today. She worked with BK pre-COVID in Poconos as security. Quote from her post. So they're really not defining whether it's a man or a woman. I will tell you that just out of statistically, there's more men in security than there are women. So just FYI. Theory first. They make a typo there. I do believe he did it, but only for research. He wasn't able to get enough research and needed to have real world experience. I feel like we were all a pawn in his game at this point. He planted the sheath. I kept saying I thought that sheath was planted. Why else would it have been wiped of prints and DNA? It only had one speck of DNA on the button he forgot to clean. I think he feels like he has a shot at getting a not guilty verdict. He has crossed all of his T's all of his T's and his eyes, or in his eyes. I hope the Leos have found something that they haven't shared. I also find one of our members' theories plausible that BK was mimicking another case. Now, my frequently asked questions. No, during the years we worked together, he did not have a girlfriend. 2, I have a hard time believing that he was a hero or he was on H, considering he was so strict with intermittent. Let's see what we got. I couldn't read that. Oh, here it is. Got it? There we go. I have a hard time believing he was on H, considering he was so strict and intermittent fasting and vegan lifestyle, as well as the fact that he has aspirations to work for the FBI. We would talk about personality traits and disorders. He cared about what people thought about him, but couldn't pick up on social cues as to how they felt without being told. So he had no conscious understanding. When some of us stop talking to people, they don't realize we don't like them anymore or that we're mad at them, right? He couldn't get that. You literally had to tell him, listen, don't call me anymore. I'm mad at you, right? He had to be told. Yes, he was absolutely interested in serial killers and their thought processes. No, I didn't feel in harm's way with him. Of the coworkers that I have spoken to, nobody felt like he would hurt them necessarily, but nobody would want to piss him off. 4A, he reacted once out of anger with a burst of energy. He has lied about an incident and got caught, which also made him mad. He forgot there were cameras. He seems to forget about cameras a lot because it's the cameras that, in my opinion, have sealed his fate. Period. Last time I saw him was the summer at a walking park twice. He was pleasant as expected. It was just a nice coincidence. His parents are as kind as they portray. They have had an excellent reputation locally. Other interesting answers given. Question: How were his intentions with women? Not where, but again, typos. No, I mean, it happens. I do them. Everybody does them. He would speak to people in general public quietly and not with much authority, even though he was in a position of authority. This was the same for men and women alike. As far as anyone who he seemed interested in, I couldn't say. My personal interaction with him were with his knowledge of my marital status. Our conversations were factual and informative. Yeah, it's not letting me go down. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss one. Okay, there it is at the top there. Okay. So we can, sorry guys. Marital status. Our conversations were factual and informative, never silly. He wasn't one to joke around. Question. So my main thought is this. It's been said he really wanted to get into the FBI. Why on planet Earth would he do something to possibly jeopardize something he wanted so badly? If I was trying to get into an agency, the answer, my only exploitation, and I will tell you that whole marital status makes me believe this might have been a female now with that one statement, because nobody brings up marital status. So it seems like they're bringing up like, well, I'm married. He knew I was married. So we just had factual, interactive type of, because if it was a guy, he's not gay. So I would expect that if he was gay from a guy, but this seems like it's from a woman. So my only explanation is that he really thinks he can work the system. It will be his ultimate success. He swore up and down that he did not hit someone's car in the parking lot. He went so far as to rub dirt on the person's car who he hit to cover the damage. He denied it when it was presented to him and got mad when the tape was shown he did. Not apologetic, mad because the system caught him. Question: Did he have any sense of humor? He was very serious and literal. He didn't have a funny bone per se. He didn't get sarcasm or social cues. What do you think his motive was? And do you think he had an obsession with any of the female victims? I think his motive was research. Why those girls? Because he couldn't overpower men. Maybe he wanted to tick off all the boxes of what he wanted to portray. Maybe because it seemed easy to scout the place. If it was a party house, learn the layout and the girls' schedule. Question: When you say that no one would want to piss him off, what do you mean exactly? Okay. Answer: If he did something wrong, he wouldn't want to bring it to his attention. For one, he would want every detail of why it was wrong and why we thought he did it. It could be as small as him forgetting to clean out the squad car, and he would defend himself beyond need. What kind of thing did you talk about? He was into personality traits and types at the time, probably because he was still in his psychology portion of schooling. He had me even take a personality quiz, and we compared our findings. I'm very outgoing and bubbly, definitely a female. And he found it intriguing. We would talk about how people would think. We would talk about serial killers and what could physically be happening in a brain of someone who kills other people. He shared his career goals of being in criminal forensics. Do you think he chose them randomly, or do you think he had interaction with them? I would have to take a guess, and based on my opinion on the facts given, I think he chose them because of the ease of access since it was a party house. I don't know if he would have been conversational with any of them. What did he have an outburst over? He and another coworker were arguing about something. I don't remember what, but BK was proven wrong, and that set him off. He didn't like not being the smartest in the room. That seems like a lot of what we are hearing on any given day is that any given day is that he has to be the smartest person in the room. Have you ever seen him emotional or have emotions other than anger or agitation? Inquisitive. I've seen him wonder why people act or think like they do. I haven't seen him in love or sad. I've seen annoyed. I wasn't even around for his outburst over the car incident. He hit someone's car, tried to cover it up, questioned, denied, proven via camera, got mad. Obsessive. He got upset because he was seen on local news cameras in uniform with a cup of coffee in his hand and was reprimanded for it. He held on to that for a while. Did he have close friends? When we would speak, one of his old coworkers was his closest friend. It unfortunately was one-sided. BK found the other person to be his friend more than it was reciprocated, if that makes sense. BK was clingy once he felt like he could speak with you. This person in particular worked every weekend with him, both days, same shift, just the two of them. I would come in after the first shift and BK would stay for a few hours to hang out and drink coffee with me. I did this every other weekend for almost 2 years. Was there anything he did or said that you felt raised red flags that you specifically remembered that caused you concern or pause? I mentioned in someone else's question that the didn't like to be proven wrong. We wouldn't want to approach him about any criticism or accusation. His immediate reaction was defense. Which case do you think he was mimicking? Ooh, good question. Is that the last one? Hold on. The exit. I think that might have been the last one, and then I got to go. Yeah, and then I got to go to the second one. Here's the last one. All right, let me put this back up. Okay. Which case do you think he was mimicking? Yes, rolling. That's the one. Rolling. I'll write that down. Rolling. Interested in that one. How well did you know him? Did you ever spend time with him outside of work? He was lonely. He would punch out and hang out for several hours after his shift was over to drink coffee and talk. If it wasn't with me, it was with the other person who would come in on the weekends. I wasn't there when I was, well, she said, what? I wasn't there. I didn't hang out with him more than 2 times outside of work. Those times were to eat lunch during training off campus with a few coworkers. Were you in disbelief, or did you think he was capable of these types of crimes? I called a coworker and had a mini holy crap session. His response was, I know my mom just woke me up. We all knew he would do something, but not this. Wow. Adding more Q&As from the same post. Would you say he was obsessive type of personality? And the answer was absolutely. Did you ever seem interested in getting a girlfriend? And then it cut off. So I didn't get that portion of it. But wow, I mean, seriously, wow, that's some pretty crazy information right there. And now I see why Samantha did believe, good morning, Miss Robin, did believe that this was a legit post, because in all reality, it does appear to be, somebody that obviously knew him. At least in my eyes, it seems like that. So we're about a half hour from our 2-hour marker. It's kind of a guide, not necessarily a rule, but I did want to open up the phones just real quick, but not right at the moment. Give me about 2 seconds. Let me just take a 2-second break, and I'll be right back with you. All right, I'm back. So I'm about to open up the phone lines. Let me get them set up real quick, and then we'll open up the phone lines and talk about it. That, to be honest with you, that's pretty interesting stuff. But you know what? In all fairness, it's stuff that we have heard before. We've heard this stuff about Brian Kohberger before. It seems like he had lack of emotion, except anger and annoyance. So it appeared. Let me get over here to the comments, see if we got, I'd love to hear your thoughts on if you guys believe it when you call in. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Danny Rowland inspired movie Scream. Ooh, thank you. So Danny Rowling inspired the movie Scream. Let's pull this up. American serial killer. Let's read this. Might as well read some information. So Daniel Harold Rowling was born May 26, 1954. He died October 25th, 2016, known as the Gainesville Ripper. Was an American serial killer. He murdered 5 students in Gainesville, Florida, over 4 days in August 1990. Ooh. I wonder if if he got away with this, if he was going to do more. Holy crap, right? Like, he would have never stopped. If he got away with this crime, he would have never stopped. Rowling later confessed to R-ing several of his victims. We know that was not something that Brian did. Maybe he couldn't. I don't know. But I always believed it was power as opposed to sexual nature. Committed triple homicide in his home city of Shreveport, Louisiana, and attempted murder of his father in May of 1990. In total, Rowling confessed to killing 8 people. He was sentenced to death for the 5 Gainesville murders in 1994, and he was executed in 2006. Question, has Brian... Oh, let me turn the phones on. Hold on, where are my phones? There they are. Are they on? They're not on yet. Sorry, guys. I always forget to turn them on. So there's the number if you guys would like to call in. I'll just keep reading from the Wikipedia about Danny Rowland's earlier years. Danny was born in Shreveport, if I'm saying that right. Sorry if I butchered it. Louisiana. His father was a Shreveport police officer. And Brian Kohberger wanted to be a police officer. He wanted to be in the FBI, that we heard. And we know that that's true because he's been trying to, I think the reason that prevented him from going into the FBI or law enforcement is his personality. They give you personality questions and stuff like that. So maybe he wasn't good with that. where was I? Officer named James Rowland, who told Danny that he was unwanted from birth. That's awful to say to somebody. James also abused and beat Danny's mother Claudia and his brother Kevin for frivolous things such as breathing in a way that displeased him. Oh my God, can you imagine living under that household? In one incident, Danny's mother went to the hospital after claiming her husband tried to make her cut herself with a razor blade. She made repeated attempts to leave her husband, but always returned shortly. In one example of the senior Rowland's sense of discipline, he pinned Danny to the ground and handcuffed him, then had police take his son away because he was embarrassed by him. Wow. In another story, but see, this guy had family problems behind the scene. I thought of Scream when I learned of the Idaho 4. Wow, yeah. And so, but you remember how I said, it seems like he had everybody's talking about his parents being so sweet and nice and how they're as nice as they are, as everybody heard. But I'm telling you, there's something that was going on behind the scenes that nobody knew about. For him to have those wild changes in him, to go to very hard, dependent drug that he did, at the age he did, that's just glaring to me that something was really going on. And in this, here you're hearing about Danny Rowland, and he's got some family problems. You look at all these serial killers, they have some significant family issues. Significant. Even Ted Bundy, they believe Ted Bundy was a prodigy of incest with the grandfather and his mother. And there's a lot of these things are from family issues, and this appears to be the same. So as a teenager and young adult, Rowland was arrested several times for robberies in Georgia and was caught spying on a woman getting dressed. As an adult, he had trouble trying to assimilate into society and hold down a steady job. At one point, Rowland worked as a waiter at Pancho's restaurant in Bossier City, Louisiana. I might be missing. I bet you if Susanna's watching, she's probably behind the scenes saying, "You're saying that wrong. You saying that wrong." So let's just go through a little bit more here. It says in August 1990, Rowland murdered 5 students, 1 from Santa Fe College and 4 from the University of Florida during a burglary robbery spree in Gainesville, Florida. He mutilated his victim's body. It's one of them, and then opposed them, sometimes using mirrors. In the early morning hours of Friday, August 24th, Rowland broke into an apartment shared by a 17-year-old university freshman, Sonia Larson, and Christina Powell. Finding Powell asleep on the downstairs couch, he stood over her briefly, but did not wake her, choosing instead to explore the upstairs bedroom where Larson was sleeping. Rowland murdered Larson, first taping her mouth shut to stifle her screams. Ooh, we never heard that. What if that's what happened? What if tape was used? Was that the reason why they couldn't hear a whole lot? Might be a thought. First time I heard that, and that a light bulb just went off on top of my head. Did you guys see it? The imaginary light bulb that went whoop, just turned on. Taping her mouth to stifle her clean, then stabbing her with a K-bar knife. She died trying to defend him off. Rowland then went downstairs and taped Powell's mouth shut, bound her wrists together behind her back, and threatened her with a knife as he cut her clothes off, barred her, and forced her down onto the floor where he killed her. This is Betty. Okay. Keep going. We'll keep going. Stabbed her, and then he posed the bodies in provocative positions. He took a shower before leaving the apartment. Makes you wonder, did Kohberger do the same thing? Did he shower there? A day later, on Saturday, August 25th, Rolling broke into an apartment where 18-year-old Christina Whhaatt prying open a sliding glass door with a screwdriver. Guys, this is starting to make sense here. So lots of stuff that does resemble this sliding glass door. Rollings pried that sliding glass door open with a screwdriver. Finding she was not home, he waited in the living room for her to return. The good news is we know that Brian wasn't in the apartment when they returned home, because he wasn't even seen leaving his home until 3:26 or 3:28, or according to the probable cause affidavit, I think is what it was. Good morning, Crystal. Nice to see you. So for those that are just joining in and have no idea what we're talking about, we just did a Q&A from one of Brian Kohberger's prior coworkers when he was a security guard in Pennsylvania. And in that questionnaire, she basically stated that he was very interested in Rolling. And I was like, who's Rolling? And somebody in my chat said Danny Rolling. And that's what the Scream movie was actually, Scream, the movies that we went to the movie theater to watch, was actually inspired by Danny Rolling. So right now we're just reading Danny Rolling's information about what he did. And there are some similarities here, guys. Like, this is a little creepy for me, I must say. How did Brian know the girls were home? Is rumor about the trail cams true? Interesting. I've never heard anything about the trail cams. I have no idea. He had been monitoring them. He probably knew that they were always home or back at their place by this time. Maybe through his own research and stalking them, he knew that they were always home and in bed by 4 a.m. If you talk to, if you've ever watched my guy, what is his name? He's a highly respected detective out of Colorado, and I can't for the life of me. He is one of my I love him. And why can't I think of his name? Holy crap. He does the, oh my, God, why am I drawing a blank? He's the one I told, no, not Chris McDonough. This is a detective that has his own movie show on A&E. Joe Kenda, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. So Joe Kenda, he always said he loved doing search warrants and arrests at 4 a.m. He always said, because 4 a.m. was a perfect time. He said if you were a night owl and you were out partying, you were always home by then and in bed. He said if you were an early bird, it was before you woke up. So he said he loved the 4 a.m. time for search warrants and arrest warrants. He loved that time. That might be in this, in Brian Kohberger, it just might be one of those things. So later on, let's just keep reading. So he broke into the sliding glass door with a screwdriver. Finding she was not home, he waited in the living room until 11 a.m. Whhaatt entered the apartment and Rolling surprised her from behind, placing her in a chokehold. After she had been subdued, he duct taped her, gagged her, and bind her wrist behind her back and led her into the bedroom. He cut her clothes off hard. As in Powell murder, he forced her to lie face down on the bed, stabbing her in the back, rupturing her aorta. So this guy sounds pretty disgusting, pretty despicable, pretty deplorable. But there are some similarities here in the way the K-bar knife, the sliding glass door. I'm interested in finding out, there are things that we have not learned about with this case. And I'm curious, we keep hearing that nobody made a noise. Is it possible he duct taped their mouths? If he did, wow. Like, wow. Like, really, wow. this is insane. I'm going to turn the phones off because I want you guys to read what I'm reading. Let me turn the phones off because we're not really getting any calls right now anyways. And I want you guys to see this. So for all the people that are just joining in, what we are discussing about right now is Brian Kohberger. We had some screenshots of a coworker answering some questions about him. And one of the questions that they had asked was, did he have, because he obviously had a fascination with serial killers many, many years ago, back when he was in Pennsylvania and still going to school. It sounds like before he was he even had a bachelor's degree. And this particular person said he was really fascinated with Danny Rolling. And Danny Rolling is the inspiration of the Scream series that we watch in the movie theater. And we just read the Wikipedia version of his history, Danny Rolling. And so this history is a little crazy. There are some similarities here. And I think the most notable similarities, put this up here, the most notable similarities, oh, it's not, is it going to let me make it larger? Yeah, here we go. Make it just a tad bit small. I'm trying to make sure that you guys can read it. There we go. There we go. And so Danny Rolling was considered the Gainesville Ripper. And he lived in Shreveport, Louisiana. He had a lot of discipline, a lot of issues in his family, a lot of abuse from his father. And he started killing in the 1990s, even tried to murder his own father, which in all fairness, I don't want to advocate for violence in any way, but based on what we were reading about how the father abused him and his mother, I kind of understand why he would want to unalive him. But most notable is right here. It's a K-bar knife right under the serial killer. Let me see if I can highlight it. Can you guys see my cursor right there? So this is Danny Rolling's primary weapon of choice is the K-bar knife, which is very similar to what we were looking for. No, he was executed. Yeah, he was executed. He got the death penalty. He died. This guy here, Rolling, died, was put to death October 25th in 2006. He was accused and convicted of killing college-age girls, primarily in Gainesville. And we were just reading over some of the stuff. But one of the comments here was that he went into one of the houses. Rolling broke into an apartment right there, prying and opened a sliding glass door with a screwdriver. And so it was very interesting. But what time are we at? I think we're at, okay. So guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have to bring this up. I know we're going to be going through the serial killer stuff. I told you I was going to go through all of more detailed stuff about serial killers. This is going to work right into that. But that whole thing with Polk County broke. So we're probably going to keep, oh, hey, Cool Gamer, you're just now getting in and we're about to shut down. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to be here. If you guys have not come by and hung out with us for the Alec Murdaugh trial, you might want to consider doing it. Good morning, Guidance. You might want to consider doing it. We have a great time in chat. We have a great time watching this. We are deliberating in chat. We're listening with, we're learning a lot. We're learning an awful lot, not even just about the case, but about cell towers and how phones work and, a lot of different stuff that we can use. Right now, we were on the direction of how bullets, I've learned a lot with guns and the how bullets travel and a lot of information about shotguns, shotgun shells. This is all the stuff that we can literally use as we, look over other cases. This is knowledge we're going to have in future cases. So if you guys are not here and not watching, you really want to. If you are a crime junkie, the behind the scenes, what is admissible in a court of law, you're going to want to watch this case, because this case really does have it. It has other crimes that they're trying to keep out of this murder trial. You know, you get to hear the objections. You get to hear a lot of stuff. It's a great learning experience. Hey, Ann, nice to see you, love. It's a really good learning about these cases, learning about how the law is applied. You really learn a lot. And I want you guys to learn a lot, because we utilize these for other cases. And something we may learn here, I may remember, I may retain some portions of this. You may retain other portions of this. And then as we're processing another case, somebody may be like, oh, don't forget this, right? And I might be like, well, great, let's not forget this either. And we can really start piecing cases together and problem solving a little bit better. And that's just by watching this trial. So I hope if you guys have it, you guys will consider watching the trial of Alec Murdaugh. We're here. I will be here monitoring the trial as well. I may be on the road, but you'll see a second box of Bullhorn Betty, right like it is right now, down below. You'll see my emoji here, but you'll see me on the other one. And that just means that I'm listening and trying to keep up with everything from remotely from my phone. So you might see 2 Bullhorn Bettys on today. That doesn't mean that I have been hacked. It just means I am either in a different room or had to go run an errand today. And I just am listening and monitoring and keeping the chat up and going while I'm on the road and in movement. So I hope you guys come back and watch this Alex Murdaugh. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this show. It was very informative, kind of off the cuff. I really wasn't expecting to go over Danny Rawling, but damn, it almost makes me want to, because I've got we haven't even started our serial killer stuff yet. Do you guys know that last year I covered a lot of serial killers and never once published one of those videos? It was even Pee Wee Gaskin. I haven't posted anything. We went and visited several sites. I went to the store. I bought a book, and all these things. And now here's a new person's name, Danny Rawling, and I want to research him. So AM may have planned on offing the whole family than himself. And I believe that, Tammy. And it just disgusts me with Buster, because he doesn't even realize how close to death he was. And he doesn't. I think what really is upsetting for me with Alec Murdaugh and Buster is they were describing how Paul and Maggie were found, very graphic. We weren't able to see the photos, but the people in that jury and the people in that audience could. And he was sitting there with his girlfriend, and they were just like, nah, no big deal. I ain't lying. You can't make this stuff up. And it has completely changed my entire perspective of Buster. I think he is just a spitting image of his father. I think the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. I think the Murdaugh family is and I hate to paint a broad brush, but how could you guys not know? I guarantee this kind of stuff has been going on for a really, really long time. Power comes at a cost. It's what cost you're willing to pay, and it seems like the Murdaugh family, for that power and that legacy, sold their soul to the devil, in my opinion. But we'll see. Well, there's only one Murdaugh on trial today, not the whole family, and that's Alec. So we will be running that. Entitled Attitudes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, if you guys are interested in it, come on over, have some fun with us. It is Friday. We are gearing up for the weekend, and I hope you guys all have fun. But if not, and you have to work today, don't forget, tomorrow is Coffee Club. So we will be here for you. So you be here for us. God bless each and every one of you. And don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Now, guys, go make it a great day. And until next time, be safe.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.